This conference will now be recorded.
All right, let's continue. So we have completed installing the custom B2C site, right? We have completed the installing custom B2C site. After that, after installation, we get a tool that's nothing but back office. Now, if I go to the back office, I already told what is the purpose of back office. What is the purpose of back office? It's a UI tool for the database. So that means from here you can see tables data. Okay, tables. What is the another name? Type. Okay, tables data, and we can perform CURD operations. That's what I told. We can perform CURD operations. So that means you can see here, I can see what are the catalogs. Okay, what are the catalog versions? Catalog is the type, catalog is the table, catalog version is the type, catalog version is the table. In that, these are the records, and I can click on plus symbol, create a new one. I can select this, modify it, or I can select this, delete it, and so on, so on. So that's why I'm telling we can able to perform the CURD operations. That's it. Now, if you go and observe one point here, can you see this one, please? Let's say I click on the product. When I click on the product, I am getting the error. When I click on the product, I am getting the error. Can you see this one, please? When I click on the product, I am getting the error. So this is called a basic search. Okay, basic search. So when I click on this one, I am getting the error. This is called basic search. Similarly, okay, if I go to the product cockpit, I am getting the error. So if I go to the product cockpit, I am getting the error. Okay, if I go to the product cockpit, I am getting the error. So you can see, so I am in the basic search, I am getting the error. If I go to the product cockpit also, I am getting the error. So the reason is this basic search under product cockpit. Okay, this basic search under product cockpit get the data from Solar document. Okay, so this basic search, okay, basic search and product cockpit get the data from Solar document. So that means if you want to understand, so this is the situation. So let's say we have a product, this is the SAP commerce database. It can be HSQL DB or it can be HANA DB, not a matter. It can be HSQL DB, it can be HANA DB, not a matter. So here we have a card table. Okay, so then cart 1, cart 2, like that. So here we have a order table, then we have order 1, order 2, like that. Similarly, we have a product table. So where you can have product 1, product 2, like that. Okay, so this is what our database. Similarly, we have a lightweight text document called Solar. Okay, we have a lightweight text document called Solar. So let's say this is the Solar document. So this, what I'm trying to say, this basic search and product cockpit get the data from Solar document. So right now I am not having anything in the Solar document. That's why we are getting the error. Okay, so right now, okay, right now we don't have any product data in Solar document. Okay, in Solar document, that's why we are getting error. That's why we are getting the error. So then the question is what? How to move, okay, product data from database to Solar document. So how to move data? So that means this product data, whatever you have, right? So this product data, whatever you have, you want to move to Solar document. Okay, so how to move data from database to Solar document? To move the data from database to Solar document, then SAP Commerce is giving a job for us. So you can see here, SAP Commerce is giving a job for us. We need to run that job. Okay, you can see system, search and navigation, facet search configuration, then facet search configuration. So you can see there is a job solar solar config for back office. That's the job given for us. Now you can run this job. Okay, so you can run this job. So this will take some time, maybe 2 minutes. So after completion of this job, right now we are running this job. So running this job is nothing but what? Taking the product table data and keep in the Solar document. So let's say this is the product table or type. So then it is having the records called product 1, okay, product 2, product 3, like that. So therefore, after completion of this job, then you will have a product table data in the Solar document. Product table data in the Solar document. Product table data in the Solar document. Now, after this, if you go and see this basic search and product cockpit, okay, after this, after completion, so after completion, let's see the results. After completion, let's see the results. Okay, after completion, let's see the results. So right now this job is still running here. It will take around 2 minutes. So once this is finished, then you will not see the problems like what you are facing here. So you can see basic search is giving the problem, product cockpit is giving the problem, right? These problems will not come because after completion of this job, you will have the data in the Solar document. Then your basic search and the product cockpit get the data from the Solar document. Then you will not see any errors. That's it. You will not see any errors. This is how you can fix this challenge. Okay, let's see this quickly finish it. Meantime, if you have any question, you can go ahead and ask.
This conference will now be recorded.
You can see now this is finished. Okay, done. Now let's go and observe the first one called basic search. So I can go to the product. Okay, so earlier when I click on the product, it is giving the error, right? So let me click on the product. Now you can see you are getting the data. Similarly, I'll go to the product cockpit. Earlier it was giving the error. Now you can see everything is good. So this is how we can resolve that challenge. And one more thing is that when you click on this one, this is called basic search. But you can also see there is an advanced search here. So this advanced search get the data from database. So when I click on this one, there is an advanced search. You can see. You can click on this icon. You can click on the icon, click on the search. This is called advanced search. This will get the data from database. So this is how you can fix these challenges. That's it. So this is how we can fix these challenges. That's it here. Now let's move on to the next concept called so the important concept called data modeling. So people also call it as a PIM, product information modeling. So please remember this here, data modeling, product information modeling. So people also call it as a type system. Okay, type system. These are the different names. Okay, data modeling, product information modeling. Okay, and a type system. These are the different names. So please remember this in the real time, right? If 20 people are working in the project, out of that 2 to 3 people dedicatedly work on this. So what I'm trying to say that in real time, so let's say in the project, let's say there are 20 people working. So out of that 2 or 3 people dedicatedly work for these data models, data modeling, okay, or PIM or type system, whatever you call it as. So that much of important this topic is. That much of important this topic is. So that means even though you are perfect with this, still you can able to work in the companies. Okay, that's it. Now let's understand what is the meaning of data modeling, what is the meaning of type system, what is the meaning of PIM, and so on, so on, so on. So the first thing is that SAP Commerce by default provides lots of tables. Example, okay, example, what are the tables here? Just now you can see, so there is a cart table, category table, product table like that. So SAP Commerce by default provides first point here. Let's go with the points. First point, SAP Commerce by default provides lots of tables. Tables are, you can also call it as there is another name called types. So we'll see there is a small difference between table and type. Okay, so like example, cart, order, okay, user, product, okay, category, and so on, so category, and so on, so. So SAP Commerce by default provides lots of tables. Now SAP Commerce provides means where can we see this SAP Commerce provided tables, code, or design. What is the answer here? Asterisk hyphen items.xml. Why I am telling asterisk hyphen.xml? Because we have so many files like that. So there is a core hyphen items.xml which is giving certain tables like a product table, user table, and all. So there is a CM2 hyphen items.xml which is giving the content related tables and so on, so on. So you need to start remembering now. So therefore, where can we see SAP Commerce provide tables, code, or design? So the answer is asterisk hyphen item.xml. Why I am using asterisk? Because we have multiple types, item types like that. Example, core hyphen items.xml. Okay, CMS2. Okay, CMS2. Okay, CMS2 hyphen items.xml. Like this, we have bunch of the item.xml files. That's why we are using the star there. So here you can see product table, order table like that. Product table, user table, all these are available here. So if you go here, content related tables are available. So if you go here, you can see, can you observe this one please? So you can see, so let's say control F, code equal to, you can see this one. So control F, code equal to product. So you can see there is a product table code. So similarly control F, user. So you can see there is a user table. Order, okay, order table. Like that we have, so product table, order table, all these are defined here. Then what is defined here? Okay, content related. CMS means content management system related. So like a, you can come down and see there is a website. So code equal to, okay, code equal to CMS site. So you can see here, okay, pages like that we will have so many. So you can see CMS relation, okay, CMS components, CMS page type. So basically WCMS related tables are available here. Okay, CMS related tables are available, tables or types are available here. Like this, we have bunch of the item.xml. That's why we are saying where can we see the SAP Commerce provide tables, code, or design? So the answer is asterisk hyphen item.xml. Then second point, SAP Commerce by default provides lots of tables or types. Example, all these things, and we have seen where it is available. Now the second point is, so let's say product table is given with 45 columns. Now the question is, do you think that these columns are sufficient for your company, or we may create more? Okay, tell me. So do you think that these columns are sufficient for your company, or we may create more? Let's say product table. Yes, we may create more. So the answer is, okay, we may create more. Next, one more thing is that we may create more. Now let's say another point. So let's say SAP Commerce is giving Okay, 250 tables are types. Tables are types. Now, same question, but not columns, differently. So do you think that these tables or types are sufficient for your company, or we may create more? Again, answer is we may create more. Okay, we may create more. So therefore, now the final question is what? What is the final question? So now I need to find a way how to create the table. How to create a table or type. Second question is what? This is the question number 1. Question number 2 is what? How to create columns. Okay, so now we have a tables columns. Then what is the next one? How to create relations and so on, so on, so. Okay, and so on, so on, so. So the simplest way, how to manage the database. How to manage the database. These are the bunch of the questions. So the answer for all these questions is data modeling, or this is also called as what? Type system. That's it here. This is a simple, straightforward understanding. Can you see this one? Can you recap this one, please? So let's say a product table is given with 45 columns. Now, do you think that these columns are sufficient for your company, or we may create more? So the answer is we may create more. Okay, good. We may create more. Now, let's say SAP Commerce has given 255 tables or 250 tables or types. Now, do you think that these tables or types are sufficient for your company, or we may create more? Again, we may create more. Now the question is what? How to create a table, how to create a type, how to create a column, how to modify the column. So how to modify the column. This is also possible. Modify the column and so on, so on, so. Then how to create the relation. In a simple word, how to manage the database. The answer for all these questions is data modeling. So that means let's say Sudhakar is telling that, oh, okay, oh, I am working with the PIM, or I am working with the type system. So what does that mean? He might be creating a table, he might be modifying a column, he might be creating a column, okay, he might be creating a relation and so on, so on. So that means in a simple word, he is trying to manage the database. To manage the database, we have a type system or data modeling. That's it. Next. So one more combination is, one more third point here. So that is about the second point. Next, third point is, let's say product table is given with a product table is table or type here is given with 45 columns, right? So now the question is, do you think that your company will be using all these 45 columns, or some of them are not used? What do you think?
Some of them are not used.
Yeah, some of them may not be used. Some of them may not be used. May not be used. So therefore, the conclusion is, if your company is not using, this is the conclusion here. This is the conclusion you need to remember. What is the conclusion? If your company is not using any table or column, any table or type or column, then do not delete those. Just leave like that. So this is the thumb rule you need to follow. Just leave them like that. That's it. Is that clear, the thumb rule? So if your company is not using, let's say, some columns, some tables which are provided by SAP Commerce, then do not delete those. Just leave like that. That's it. So this is a clear understanding you should know. Is that clear?
Yes,
Are you guys there? Okay. So now we are okay. Next 10-hour session is on the data modeling only. This is the big concept. So two concepts are big. One is data modeling, another one is the layers. So layers is the 10-hour session, data modeling is the 10-hour session. These are the two big concepts. Okay, now next 10 hours, so what is our target here? How to create a table, how to create a column, how to create a type, how to modify a column, okay, how to manage the database. This is the target for next 10 hours. That's it. Next, so therefore we are discussing the type system or data modeling or PIM, right? So therefore, to understand in easy way Okay, to understand in easy way, let's do small comparison. Okay, let's take a small comparison. Otherwise, okay, comparison. So this is a nice, excellent comparison here. So this is a nice, excellent comparison. Now let's understand this comparison. Okay, so what I'm trying to say that to make easy understanding, okay, to make easy understanding, I'm saying let's compare these technologies so that you are not learning new. So that you are not learning new. Are you guys are seeing my screenshot?
Yes, Chenna.
Good. So let's say if you know Oracle, then that's good. If you don't know Oracle, that is also good. Now you can see database. So the first one is what? Database, DBMS. DBMS means what? A database, right? So we have a Oracle database or something. Okay, so we have a Oracle database, we have MS SQL database, we have HANA database, like that. Okay, so this is the database and this is the Java, this is the SAP Commerce. That means I am correlating those technologies. What is the equivalent terminologies? What is the different things? Now, whenever you take the database, what do you have? Database will have the tables. Database will have the tables. Please see this one. This is an excellent comparison to understand quickly. Database will have the tables. Now, what is the equivalent representation for the table? In the Java class. In the Java class. So that means, so let's say I have an employee table here. Employee table or type, not a matter. Okay, employee table or type. So employee ID, then employee name and employee salary. So this is what I have in the database. Then what is the equivalent in Java? So public class name, let's say employee. Public class name, let's say employee. So here you will be having string employee ID. Okay, string employee name. This is the simplest way to learn here. Employee salary. So then to set the name, to get the name, you have a get method, set method. So get employee ID, do something, then set employee ID, do something. Okay, so similarly, get employee name, do something. Similarly, set employee name, do something. Like this, you will have the, okay, like this, you have the Java representation. Like this, you have the Java representation for your database. Is that clear? I want response from everyone here, then only we can see nice conclusions. Otherwise, we need to keep on explaining this. It's not a matter whether you are a functional, technical or zero background, not a matter. I am just telling. So I am telling what in the database you have the tables. What is the equivalent representation? In the Java class. So if it is an example, so let's say this is what my table, then in the Java, this is how it will be. So that means, so in the database, you have 10 columns. So here 10 variables. For each column, one set method, one get method. For each column, one set method, one get method. Like this, you will have. For each column, you will have one set method, one get method. Like this, you will have. That's it. Next, okay. So now we understand in the database, it's a table. In the Java, it's like a Java class. What is the equivalent representation? So it is a item type in the SAP Commerce. Now let's say Santosh is telling, oh, I am creating item type. I am having the challenge. What do you understand from that? You need to understand that, okay, he is trying to create a table or type. So therefore, table is the database terminology. What is the equivalent to SAP Commerce terminology?
Item type.
Item type. That's it. Simple, straightforward, powerful conclusion. That's it. Next, second. So whenever you take the table, we understand the equivalent terminologies. In the table, you have the columns, right? So employee ID, employee name, employee salary. So therefore, if you take the database will have the columns. So in the Java, columns are called what? Just now I shown you. So in the database, columns are called these variables. Okay, so therefore in the database you have the columns. In the database you have the columns. In the Java you have these variables. That's it. Simple, straightforward. So that means so database columns equivalent representation. Database columns equivalent representation in Java is what? Variables. That's it. Then in SAP Commerce, those are called attributes. Now let's say Vishnu Priya is telling that, oh, I am creating attributes. I am creating attributes. That means what do you understand from that? She is trying to create the database columns. She is trying to create the database columns. That's it. Next. So the next one is what? Now you have a table or type. Then you have the columns. Then after that you have the data, right? Let's say 101. Okay, Chenna, $10 is the salary. Okay, 102. Let's say triple RS. Okay, let's say $15 is the salary, like that. So this is called data, or this is called what? Record or row, right? This is a record or row. Okay, so this is the record or row. Okay, so that's the, now you can see here. So in the database you have a record or row. What is the equivalent terminology in Java? Object. So that means, let's say, okay, let's say Ravi is telling that, oh, I am trying to create a object. That means he is trying to represent a record. Okay, then in SAP Commerce you can call it as a object or instance. Sometimes we call it as object, sometimes we call it as instance, not a problem, but that's the representation. That's it. Next, you take the database. In the database we write the functions, right? Are you guys are aware of Oracle? In the Oracle you write the functions or procedures, like that. What is the difference between function and procedure? Functions, procedures.
Function can be called from procedure.
Function, okay, you can call. Procedure you cannot call. Huh? Okay, so please remember this here. First one is function return the value. Okay, function return the value. Procedure will not return. Okay, second one is function return the value and procedure will not return the value. Second one is, let's say I am writing 20 star function 1. So that means you can use the function within the expression, within the statement, but you cannot use the procedure. Okay, you cannot use the procedure within the function, within the statement. This is wrong because procedure will not return any value. That's why this is wrong. This is correct because function return the value. That's it. That's the simple, straightforward conclusion. Now let's come back here, please. Okay, so now in the database you have functions. Similarly, in Java, those are called methods. Okay, in SAP Commerce, those are called service layer classes. Okay, in the SAP Commerce, those are called service layer classes. That's it. So in a simple word, let's say Raj is telling that, oh, I am trying to write some service layer classes. That means he's trying to write the methods. That's it. That's the answer. Okay, next. Okay, so next one is in Java, we have POJO classes. The equivalent terminology in SAP Commerce is model classes. So here we'll spend the time now. So after 10 minutes, we'll spend a lots of time here because we need to understand what is the meaning of POJO classes, what is the meaning of model classes, and what is the purpose of the model classes. So at least we need to spend 1 hour here. Okay. So in Java, we have POJO classes. What is the equivalent SAP Commerce terminology?
Model class.
Model classes. So if any people knows the Java, what is the purpose of POJO classes? POJO means plain old Java objects. Plain old Java objects. So if you don't know the purpose also, don't worry, we'll learn it. But for now, you can, if you know the Java, your POJO class is equivalent to model class. If you don't know what is POJO class, we'll see anyway, we'll spend the time here because those are very important for our entire technical sessions. Okay, next in the Java, so in the Java, we have so many classes, right? Which is the superclass? So like we have a math class, we have a date class like that. So we have so many classes in the Java. Which is the superclass for all the classes?
Object.
Okay, which is the superclass for all the classes? That is called object. In the .NET, what is the superclass here? In the .NET, what is the superclass? For in the .NET also we create the classes. In the .NET, what is the superclass for all the classes? So the answer is system. Okay. Similarly, so here in Java we have a superclass called object. Similarly, in SAP Commerce, super type is generic type or type. Generic type or type. That's it. Next, in Java, how do you achieve the inheritance? In Java, how do you achieve the inheritance?
Extends.
Extends keyword. So extends keyword. Okay, extends keyword. Same thing we can use in the SAP Commerce also. Same thing we can use in SAP Commerce also. Next, in Java, we have a primitive types. What are the primitive types in Java?
Int, long.
So primitive types. So that means int, float, okay, double, long like that. Double, long like that. So we have primitive types. Those are called atomic types in SAP Commerce. Simple, straightforward conclusions here. So atomic types in the SAP Commerce. So therefore your integer, float, double, long, character, string, all these are called atomic types in SAP Commerce. All these are called atomic types in SAP Commerce. That's it. Next, so how do you create a table in SAP Commerce? Sorry, how to create table in Oracle? So the syntax is create table, table name. This is the syntax, right? So you can see create table, table name. Similarly, so if you want to create from SAP Commerce, deployment table, table name. Deployment table, table name will create the database table. Deployment table, table name will create the database table. We'll see here, we'll practice it. Next, so in the database we have primary keys. In the SAP Commerce also we have primary keys. This is the nice comparison between Java versus database versus SAP Commerce. Now, so here the important topic is this model classes. We need to understand. So before I start the model classes, if you have any question, you can ask me now.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So the next important topic is model classes. So as I said, in Java, we have a POJO classes. In the SAP Commerce, we have the model classes. So the first point is, now we are, okay. The first point is model classes. What is a model class? What it contains? So 3 questions we need to understand here. Okay. So the first point is model classes are generated during the build. So we will not create here. We will not create. So these are the nice conclusions here. We are discussing the model classes or model objects. Model classes are objects. So the first one is model classes are generated during the build. Build means what? And clean all like that. So these are generated during the build. Now you can ask a question. These are generated based on what? I said that these are generated based on what? These are generated based on what? So the answer is based on the type defined. Based on type defined in *-items.xml. So the first point is model classes are generated. We don't create. Based on what? Based on the type defined in *-item.xml. Let's take the example. Let's see the example here. Okay, let's see the example. We'll go with the user. Okay, so let's see this one, please. So code equal to user. code equal to, let's say, user. Okay, so this is the user. Can you see this one, please? Let me go there again. Yeah, you can see code equal to user. Forget about there is a so much of syntax, all these things here. We will learn one by one. Just focus what I am telling. Just focus what I am telling. If you distract by asking the question, oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? Like that, then it will not help. We will learn everything. Just focus what I am telling. That's it. Okay. Now, if you see here, okay, if you see here, can you observe this one, please? Okay. So, as I said, what in the item star item.xml, in the star item.xml, we have a type system, right? You can see type, item type. So here there is a user. Okay. So here there is a user, and within that you have so many things. Okay. Within that you have so many things. Can you please observe here? Can you please observe here? Here you have so many things. Okay. So now the type is what here? User. Now let's say you created all these things and perform and clean all, build. After performing and clean all, you can see there is a model generated. You can see there is a model generated, which is nothing but, okay, user model.java, which is nothing but user model.java. That's it here. So you can see that you can see the comments also. These are all generated. That's it. So therefore, that's why I'm telling model classes are generated based on. Can you listen the conclusion, please? Model classes are generated based on type defined in item.xml. So that means if type name equal to ABC, if type name equal to or item type name equal to ABC, then generated model class name is what? ABC model.java. This is the powerful conclusion. Is that clear? If type equal to ABC, then what is the generated class, generated model file, generated model class name? ABC model.java. So that means, so for user, you have user model. For cart, what do you have? For cart, what do you have? Cart model.
Cart model.
For order, what do you have?
Order model.
That's it here. That's it. So you can check if you want. So you can check if you want. Control Shift R, Control Shift R here. Searching a file. Search for a file. Search for a file is nothing but Control Shift R. So you can see, so there is a order model.java. You can see, so there is a cart model.java. For cart purpose, cart model. For user purpose, user model.java. For order purpose, order model.java. So for payment purpose, payment info model.java. Like this, you have the model files generated. Like this, you have model files generated. Like this, we have model files generated. Then second point. What is the second point here? First point, we are clear, right? First point, we are clear. Model files, we will not create it. These are generated based on the items.xml file changes and so on, so on, so. Okay, good. Now the second point is, these are generated means it will have something, right? So therefore, second point is what model asterisk model files, okay, asterisk model classes contains. So this is the question. So just now we have seen these are generated. Then the second point is what it contains. Then the third point is what? What is the use? If you understand these three, that is excellent. That's it. So the first point is what? I said these are generated. These are generated based on the item.xml file changes. That's good. Okay, these are generated. Then what it contains? Okay, what it contains. Okay, now observe this one, please. Okay, so let's take an example of a product, right? So let's take the example of product. Okay, PRODUCT, product. Okay, now you need to observe this one, please. Okay, so this is the item type. In the product type, you have so many columns, right? Product type means a product table. For now, you can assume that that is a table. That's it. For now, you can assume that that is a table. That's it. Okay, so this is what you have. And attributes are nothing but what? Columns, right? Attributes are nothing but columns. Yes or no?
Yes, Chenna.
Yes, Chenna.
So you can see here, please. Attributes are nothing but columns. Attributes are nothing but the columns. Now, if you see, this is the column and this is the column name. This is the column. This is the column name. This is very excellent conclusions here. This is the column. This is the column name. This is the column. This is the column name. This is what we have. Now assume that you have done the build. When you do the build for product, there is a product model, right? So product model.java. Now what it contains, that's what you need to understand now. What it contains, that's what you need to understand now. So here so much things are there here. I will type it so that it will be easy to understand. So therefore this will be generated. What it contains, okay, step number point number 1, or I will say A. Okay, I will say A. What it contains? For every attribute, there will be one variable. Okay, there will be one variable, and okay, there will be for every attribute. Can you see this one, please? For every attribute, there will be one variable, one set method to set the data, and one get method to get the data. This is a nice conclusion. Okay, so for every attribute, there will be one set method for setting the data, one get method to get the data. That's it. Example, you can see the example, please. Okay, you can see the example. So right now attribute is what? Code. So therefore you will have string code. Okay, then there is a set code method will be there, which is going to set the data, and there will be get code will be there, which will get the data from which will get the product code. That's it. This is how you will have. Let's observe now. Okay, so code, let's see code is a variable or not. You can see there is a code variable. Then we should have what? Okay, set code will be there to set the code in the database. You can see set code will be there to set the code in the database. Similarly, get code will be there to get the code from the database. That's it. So that means, okay, so please understand this. These are the very nice conclusions. I'm telling in the simplest way. So therefore, for every attribute, there will be one variable, one set method, one get method. Okay, so example here, in this case, example, okay, so here there is a product code. Okay, is the attribute. So therefore, there will be a variable called string code, and to set the code in the database, you have a set method. To get the code from the database, you have a get method. Is that clear?
Yes, Chenna.
Okay, good. Next, second point. Second point is, this is one more nice here. Okay, so do you see any difference between? Okay, so can you see the difference, please? If you observe the difference, so this is also a column, but it is a localized column. This is also a column, but this is a normal column. Can you see this one, please? Product code is a just string, and name is what? Localized string. Are you guys are observing the syntax difference? Product code is the string, and the name is the localized string. Then what is the difference between these two, string and localized string? Let's understand now. So that means what happens if I make string a variable string, what happens if I make a variable localized string? So second point is what happens if attribute is string and if attribute is localized string. So the answer is, let me show you the output of this one here. If you make a string, what happens? If you make a localized string, what happens? I am showing output in database. Is that clear? I am showing output in the database. That means if you create a variable or if you create an attribute as a string, what is the database output? If you create an attribute localized string, then what is the database output? For that, you can simply go to the product table. This is the product table. This is the product table. Can you see this one, please? This is the excellent conclusion. Now you can see article number. Article number, when you hover it, what you are getting? Article number, when you hover it, what you are getting? Product code. Article number, when you hover it, what you are getting? You are getting product code. That's it. Then similarly, name, right? Name is nothing but this one. So you can see identifier. Identifier is nothing but the name here. Okay, you can see identifier is nothing but the name. Now, what is the difference between these two? You can tell me now. What is the difference between these two?
It's localized. Article number is not.
Localized. So therefore, the first one is allowing only one value. Second one is allowing country specific values, or sorry, language specific values. So that means by just defining like this, by just writing a attribute localized, then you are going to get this kind of big functionality where you can enter the name in English, where you can enter the name in Portuguese, where you can enter the name in French, and so on, so on, so. Then if you are in the French side, then this will be picked. If you are in the Portuguese side, then this will be picked, and so on, so on, so. Now, if you make it as a normal string, then only one box is there to enter one value. Okay, only one box is there to enter only one value. Let's say example, can you see this one, please? So let's say I go to the product. Okay, I'll go to the product. This is the product. Now you can see, so this is the product name. So let's say this is the product name. This is the product name. Do you expect this product name to be displayed based on your language or always English? So let's say you are in the French. Do you expect this to display in the French? Let's say you are in the German. Do you expect this to display in the German? Let's say you are in US. Do you expect this to display in English, or you always expect this to display in English?
In a different language.
Different language. So that means this is nothing but the name which we want localized. So that means if English people is coming English, if French people is coming French, if Portuguese coming people is coming Portuguese, and so on, so on, so. For that, so you can make that particular name as localized so that you have a flexibility to put the equivalent translations. So if you put English here, okay, and the customer is coming with English language, then English will be displayed. If you put French here, and if customer is coming French, then French will be displayed here. So if you put Portuguese value here, and the customer is coming Portuguese, then the Portuguese value, whatever you filled here, will be picked and displayed here. So this is how you can achieve the database column content localization. This is how we can achieve the database column content localization. Okay, so this is how we can achieve the database column content localization. Now, if you want to observe clearly, let's observe quickly once. So this is the apparel UK site English. Can you please observe here? This is the apparel UK site English. Now there is a apparel Germany site, right? Let me go to the apparel Germany site, which is the German. Okay, apparel Germany site, which is the German. Then I will open the same product here. Can you guys observe here? I am opening the same product. Can you observe here? Same product in English, same product in German. Same product I open in the English language, same product I open in the German language. But do you see name coming both English only, right? German is not coming. Is that clear? Name, it is coming in English here. It is also coming in English here. For English language, English is fine. But German language also English is coming. The reason is, if you go on to observe this product, search that product, okay, observe the name. Okay, this is the name, it's coming. And do you see any German value is filled here?
No.
You see any German value filled here?
No check.
As there is no German language, default is English. That's why it is displaying English. Now what you can do is that take this and do the translation and fill the German value. Let's say English to German translation. Okay, so this is the English and this is the German. It's almost okay. There's a difference here. So here is a black, red, and you can see that black, red how it is. Now I will fill the German translation here. I will fill the German translation here and click on save. Now go and refresh and see. I am getting the German. This is the power of that small keyword. This is the power of that small keyword called localized. Now you can see, so if I go to the German side, I'm getting the German. If I go to the English side, okay, I'm getting the English. So you can see black and red. If I go here, that black is converted into German and so on, so on. So this is the power of this particular keyword called localized. Is that clear?
Yes, Chenna.
Yes, Chenna.
Okay, so therefore now let's come back to here. So A. So what is the A here? If attribute is, or I said for every attribute, what did I say? For every attribute there is a variable. Just now I shown you. Okay, so there is a set method to set the data, and there is a get method to get the data. But now I am telling the one more scenario. If attribute is localized, just now I explained what is the meaning of localized. If attribute is localized, okay, if attribute is localized, there will be one variable that is true, but okay, two set methods will be there, two get methods will be there. Two set methods and two get methods. Now you can ask a question, why two? Are you guys seeing the difference? If attribute is localized, example name. So if it is a name localized, then in the model file, you have two set methods, two get methods. Example product name, right? Example name. So then you will see set name and get name two times. Let's observe this one, please. First observe the name. Let's see there is a variable or not. So you can see there is a variable, that's correct. Now you can see, okay, set name. Can you observe this one, please? This is one time, this is another time. This is one time, this is another time. Two times is there. Similarly, you can say get name. So you can see, so there is a get name and a get name. Now we need to understand what the purpose of this. Okay, so therefore set name two times is there. One is, you can see here, please. Just observe the set methods. Okay, so you can see set name, which is taking the name and setting it. Okay, set name taking the name and locally. So let's say, can you see this one, please? Let's take this screenshot. Now you have this, right? Okay, I will take this and explain. Are you guys paying attention?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
Chenna.
Now you have like this, right? Okay. Now I am calling the method set name. I will just pass, let's say, hello. If I just pass hello, then this English will be replaced with hello. Or if I say set name hello, comma fr, I will pass it. Okay. If I will not pass hello 1 2 3, I will put it comma fr. So that means hello 1 2 3 will be stored here. That's the difference. Is that clear? That's why we have two set methods. One is the default, another one is with language. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Next, we'll have two get methods, right? Get name. If I simply say get name, it will give hello. If I say get name and pass the language code, okay, pass the local, then it will give what? Hello 1 2 3. That's why we have two set methods, two get methods in the model file. Two set methods, two get methods in the model file, and the variable is only one. Is that clear?
Yes, Chenna.
Okay, that's it. So therefore, if generally what so what is the general conclusion? For every attribute there is a variable, there is a set method, there is a get method. But if attribute is localized, then one variable, two set methods, two get methods are there. Example just now I shown you. Next, third example, C, point number C. Okay, so let's take the one more scenario. Let's take the one more scenario. Okay, sorry. So there is a boolean, boolean. Okay, you can see. So this is the boolean, and there is a java.lang.boolean. Two things are there. Boolean is there, java.lang.boolean is there. Okay, can you observe this one, please? Boolean is there. So this boolean is available where? Just observe this. This is available in the system audit, right? Can you observe this one, please? I guess are there. So I have boolean. This is one more nice conclusion you need to remember. So I have an attribute called boolean, just boolean in this particular type. Attribute means database column. Okay. Now we can also have java.lang.boolean. Let me see java.lang.boolean. Java.lang.boolean. You can see there is so many places java.lang.boolean. I will take that also. Okay. Let's take this example. So java.lang.boolean. This is available in which type? You can go to top and see. So there is attribute descriptor something. We don't need to worry about this here. Just focus on what I'm telling. That's it. So now we are considering a different scenario. So scenario is what? Okay. So scenario is what? One is boolean, and another one is java.lang.boolean. Okay, so now let me open the what will be the model file for this? What is the model file for this here? What is the model file for this? System setup audit model. So let me open the system setup audit model. Control-Shift-R, system setup audit model.java. In that, what is the attribute? Required, right? So let's look for the required. Can you see this one, please? Get required. So you can see there is no get method. Set required. You can see there is a set method. but there is no get method here. You guys are paying attention. So you can see there is no get method, only set method is there. So in this situation, what is there? There is a variable called required variable, and get required is there. Sorry, set required is there. Okay, that method is there, and get required is not there. Instead of get required, you will have is required here. You can see there is a use required. So this is one more difference you need to remember. So you will have is required. So this is how you have here. Is that clear? So variable, set method, get method. Now let's go and observe this scenario. What is this type name? Can you see? Type name is attribute descriptor. Are you guys able to follow? I'm at speed.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Now let's see this attribute descriptor model file, and let's look for the same attribute called unique, right? Unique. UNIQE. So let's see the set method. So there is a set method, there is a get method. Both are there. So now do you see the difference between? But output also I'll see. Okay, unique is the variable available, and there is a set unique method, no problem, and the get unique method is available, no problem. Both are available, no problem. Now let's see the results here. Database output. These are all database, right? See, item.xml, database modeling, all these things are nothing but database. Now let's go and observe how it looks in the database. System setup audit, right? Let me go to the types. Okay, how do you search the database tables or types? So in the system, there is a type. In the system, there is a type, and look for system setup audit. System setup audit. AUDIT. System setup audit. So this is a type or table. Select it. I want to see the records. Execute it. I want to see the records. Execute it. There is no record. Let me create one quickly. Okay. Here we don't have an option to create a. Okay, system setup audit. This is the one, and execute it. There is no create option here. That's okay. I'll take one more example which is having the boolean. Let's take one more example which is having the boolean to create it here. So let's go here, boolean. Okay, so you can see this is the boolean persist. Okay, let's go on to see this one. What is this type? Oh, this is a big type. Okay, so abstract order. Let's go here and types. So this is how you can find the tables, table data. This is how you can find the tables, table data. This is how you can find the tables, table data. Abstract order, select it. I want to see the records, execute it. These are all the different records. Now open this. Okay, open one of the record. So that record should have this column, right? What is the column just now we assumed? Okay, so boolean. So this is the column. So discount include delivery cost. Discount include delivery cost. Let's see where is that here. Okay, you need to find out where is that discount. So here we don't have it. Discount we don't have it. I don't think so here. Okay, let's go to the administration. Let's go to the administration. Okay, so can you see this one? Discount group. Okay, this is the one, right? Can you see this? Discount include delivery cost. This is what we are looking, right? Discount include delivery cost. That is what it is. And so therefore, if you create a just boolean, what is the output? So this is the output. So that means you have an option to select true or false. We have an option to select true or false. Now let's go and observe the abstract attribute descriptor. Attribute descriptor. Go to the types. Okay, attribute descriptor, ATTRIBUTS, attribute descriptor. Select this. I want to see the records, execute it. I want to see the records, execute it. These are all the different records. Open that. In the attribute descriptor, which column we want? Which column we want? Unique, right?
Unique.
So let's observe the unique. Do you see something called unique here? UNIQUE. Yeah, unique. You can see. Actually, this is going to have one more thing called NEAL. This is going to have one more thing called NEA.
But default value is false, that's why.
Yeah, in the same administration tab, you or in the same back office thing, you have an NA also for another attribute.
Yes, very well. That product one, huh?
That is mandatory. That's why
This
this one doesn't have.
Is source is there. You can see NA. Is source. Let's see where is this is source.
Previous one is mandatory, Chenna, that's why.
So you can see is source. Can you see this one? This? Can you see this one? Boolean. Can you guys observe? Can you guys observe? So java.lang.boolean. Can you guys pay attention? Java.lang.boolean. And the difference is, let me take this syntax also. Okay, if you see the difference, here we did not set the default value. As we did not set the default value, now you are getting three things here. You are getting three things here. So one is true, false, and one more thing is not applicable. This is the difference between Boolean and no Boolean. Java.lang.boolean and okay, I'm just deleting this default value. Okay, now you can see. So therefore, if you have a Boolean, how many values it is going to allow? This is the conclusion. We have a Boolean, how many values?
Two values.
Two values. If you say java.lang.boolean, then true, false, and you will also have one more thing called not applicable. One more thing called not applicable. As not applicable is there, so that's why whenever you create java.lang.boolean, mostly we will set the default value. Mostly we'll set the default value. Because there is a not applicable, then it may disturb our application. It may disturb our application. Like this, you have the difference with the Boolean attributes. Is that clear? Third scenario.
Yes.
So this is very important here. How it looks, what are the difference and all in terms of the implementation wise. Is that clear? Now let's recollect quickly once, please. So we are started discussing the model file. So the first one is, I said a model is generated, and how it is generated we have seen. Then what it contains I'm explaining. So what it contains for every attribute, attribute means database column. So for every attribute there is a variable, there is a set method, there is a get method, and we have seen. And we have a localized attribute. If it is a localized attribute, then one variable, two set method, two get method. What happens if attribute is Boolean? So then we have a Boolean, java.lang.boolean. If it is a Boolean, the output is only two values. Java.lang.boolean, output is three values, true, false, NA, and so on, so on. So if it is a Boolean, then set method is there, no get method. Instead of get method, what is there? Is required method. So if it is a java.lang.boolean, so variable will be there, get method will be there, set method will be there. That's it. Like this, you have lots of methods. Like this, you have lots of methods in the model. So in a simple word, can I say like this here? So let's say I have a employee type or a table, with employee ID, employee name, employee salary. So this is in the database side. Then what is the equivalent model for this?
Employee model.
Yes,
PIM.
very good. Employee model.java, which will contain what? 3 variables: string employee ID. You need to tell now.
String employee name.
String employee name, very good. And finally string employee salary. And you have set employee ID and get employee ID. You'll have set employee name, get employee name, and set employee salary to set the salary, get employee salary to get the salary. Like this will be there in the model file. That's the purpose of that is the model file. That's it. So therefore, now for what purpose we are using this model file? It is having the set method and get method. So that means using model file. Now can I say this conclusion here? Using the model files or model classes, we can set the data in database, or we can get the data from the database. Can I say that?
Yes, sir.
You can get the data from database. That's it here, simple straightforward conclusion. So that's why I'm telling. So 3 questions you need to understand, or 3 points we need to understand about model classes. So the first one is it is generated. Second one is what it contains. Third one is what is the purpose. What is the purpose of these model classes or model objects or model files? Now you tell me the answer. I told everything. What is the purpose? We can perform okay, database operations. So that means we can insert record, or we can create record. Okay, we can get record, and we can delete record. We can create record or update record also here.
Update.
We can remove record from database. We can create record or update record in database. Okay, we can get record from database and remove record from database. That's it here. So therefore, what is the purpose of model file now? Finally, we can perform CRUD operations with model classes or model files. Now, can we see one example for this? Can we see one example for this? How we can do? How we can insert a record, update a record, delete a record? Okay, so if you pay attention next to 20 minutes here, you almost understand 1 lakh lines of code. That much of powerful next 20 minutes session. If you pay attention next 20 minutes, you understand almost 1 lakh lines of code. Not 1 lakh. You understand everything, entire commerce here. Can we see some example with this model classes? Model objects?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So now my requirement is, everyone please, requirement is I want to create a customer. I want to create a customer. So what are the different ways we can create the customer? So we can create from back office, we can create from the website. Okay, so we can create the Impex file, we can do through coding. What else? We can do through coding. Then what else we can do? We can import from third-party systems, and so on, so on. So these are the different ways to create the customer. So now customer. So can you see this one, please? Okay, can you see this one, please? So code equal to customer. Sorry. Actually, okay. Control Shift R, code equal to customer. You can see this is the customer. So for customer, what will be there to perform the database operation?
Customer model.
Customer model .java. That's it. So that means this is the requirement. So let's say this is what my database. Okay. So in the database, I have something called a customer. So let's say this is the type or table. Then we have a customer ID, then customer name. So let's see, how do I do from back office? How do I create a customer from back office? You can see there is a users and there is a customer. There is a user and a customer. Okay, there is a user and a customer. How do I do from website here? You can click on register. How do I do from website? Creating a customer.
Click on registration.
Click on register and do that. Okay, good. Now click on plus symbol, ID, name, and description. Assume that ID, name, descriptions. These are the columns. This is the column. So therefore, in the database, this is what I have. Okay, so in the database, this is what I have. Can you see this one, please? In the database, this is what I have. Now my requirement is I want to create a customer. So I can create a customer from back office. How can I create from back office? You can see here. So there is a customer, click on plus symbol and to fill it, click on done. Then customer will be created. If I want to create from website, you can go to register, create a customer. Okay. So, and we can also do through coding. Now I want to tell you through coding. Through coding. Okay, so for these 3 steps are there here. For these 3 steps are there. For these 3 steps are there. Step number 1 is, okay, step number 1 is create object. Create object. So what does that mean? Okay, let me say from the back office, I want to create a customer. From the back office, if I want to create the customer, what do? I go to user, I go to customer, click on plus symbol. That is nothing like a create object. See how easy to understand the code here. See how easy to understand the code. So step number 1 is what? So you can go to back office. Okay, you can go here, click on customer, click on plus symbol, right? This is nothing but creating a customer. Is that clear? This is nothing but creating the customer. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then how do I do this programmatically? This is from back office. How do I do programmatically? If you want to do programmatically, we have 2 solutions. Solution 1. Okay, solution 1. So what is the solution 1? Customer. This is the customer, right? For customer, you have customer model. CM equal to new customer model. Like this, we can use it. So this is the solution 1. But this solution 1, in the solution 1, we are using the new operator, which is the old way of doing. Don't use this. That's why I'm putting in the red color. Then what is the suggested solution? The suggested solution is, okay, so the suggested solution is solution 2, which is nothing but customer model. Customer model CM equal to, so there is a model service given for us. Model service dot create of customer model dot class. This you can use it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you are writing this code, means you are doing this operation. Okay, simply I am telling back office terminology here. In the back office, if you want to create a customer, or from the back office, if you want to create a customer, how do? You can go here, click on the plus symbol. It's like a creating an object. And what is the code for this? So customer model CM equal to model service dot create of customer model. Okay, Now tell me back office terminology. After clicking on plus symbol, what do you do? In the back office terminology, after I want to create a customer from back office, I want to create a customer from back office. You go here, click on plus symbol, you click on plus symbol. After that, what do you do?
Fill mandatory attributes.
Enter the data. Step number 2 is enter the data. Okay, so step number 2 is enter the data. Okay, step number 2 is
Chenna,
tell me.
Chenna, by using
This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So therefore, now from the back office, I want to create a customer. First one is I go here, click on the plus symbol. That's nothing like a creating object. Second one is I need to enter the data. So let's say ID is okay, Chenna, and the name is let's say RRS, and description is testing. Like that I have given. Like that I have given. So therefore, okay. This is an excellent example here to understand in the simplest way. So you are entering the data. This is how you enter the data. Then how do I do through coding? So if you want to do through coding, see this one please. If you want to do through coding, you already created the object, right? So therefore, cm.set ID. What is the ID? Chenna. See how easy it here. cm.set name. What is the name? RRS. Then cm.set description. What is the description here? Okay, test.
Testing.
That's it here. This is the equivalent code for it. This is the equivalent code for it. So therefore, you want to create a customer from the back office. Step number 1 is what? You click on the plus symbol. Step number 2 is what? You enter the data. Then what is the step number 3? What is the step number 3?
Done.
To
Huh?
save it or
Click on done. Perform DB operation. Step number 3 is perform DB operation. Okay, perform database operation. So performing database operation is nothing but what? In the back office, performing database operation is nothing but what? Clicking on done button.
done.
So clicking on the done button is nothing but performing database operation. Clicking on done button is nothing but performing database operation. Then how do I do through coding? So that is nothing but model service dot save of model service dot save of your object, which is nothing but CM. That's it. So therefore, after this, after done button, okay, after done button or after this, what is the output here? The output is in the database, you have the record. That's it here. In the database, you have the record, which is nothing but Chenna, okay, RRS and testing. Chenna, RRS and testing. That's the purpose of this model file. Now, did you understand this model file uses? Did you understand the model file uses?
Yes, sir. No.
Are you guys are paying attention? Are you guys are paying attention? Now I am going to ask each one
yeah,
of you.
yeah, Chenna.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I am telling the general syntax. I'm telling the general syntax. This is very powerful syntax. So you need to start reading the syntax. Step number 1 is what? Create object. So which is nothing but YYY model object equal to model service dot create of YYY model dot class. This is the step number 1. Okay, so this is the step number 1. Otherwise, I'll write in the I will write in this here new window. Okay, what is the step number 1? You can tell me now. Step number 1 is what? Create object, which is nothing but YYY model object equal to model service dot create of YYY model dot class. That's it. This is the step number 1. Next step number 2 is set the data. So let's say you have some columns, right? Object dot set column 1. So let's say Chenna. Set column 2. This is nothing but just setting data, nothing more than that. Set column 2 data. So let's say RRS. Like that, you do whatever you want here. It's just set methods. Then finally, perform DB operation, which is nothing but what is the syntax? Model service
Save.
save. Yes. Model service dot save of object. That's it. So this is the general syntax. Now let's practice this one for everything here. Okay. Now let's say, okay, now I explained everything. Now you need to tell me. So tell me what the logic will be executed for this. So I'll go with the Ravi. So let's say I enter the first name, I enter the last name, I entered some email ID here. Okay, some password here and click on register. When I click on the register, tell me what is the logic executed?
Customer.
So we are creating the customer here. You are right.
Yeah.
We are creating a customer here. We are right. You need to tell the code now.
We create a reference for customer model.
You need to tell the code. That's it. You need to tell the code because I explained everything.
Model customer equals.
Yes. Okay. Because here we are creating the customer. So therefore, customer model CM equal to model service dot create of
model dot class.
Model dot class. Okay. Then what?
CM dot.
We are entering first name, last name, all these things, right? So therefore, set first name. You can set something whatever you have here. Set last name. We are entering the last name and all. Set those things here. Dash 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 dash. Then finally,
save.
Model service dot save of
CM.
CM. That's it here. See, you know the code for this now. See, you know the code for this.
Chenna, when we are creating the customer, then we will use the same. But if you are logging,
Santosh, please listen. Okay. So now you can see, you know the code for this. Now let's practice some more examples. Okay. So let's say I go here and try to add the item to cart. So now I am trying to add the item to cart. Tell me. So when I try to add the item to cart, two things will happen, right? Okay, cart entry will be created and so there is a cart entry table and a cart table, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so when you click on add to cart, so this entry will be created in the cart entry. Cart entry. So and also one cart will be created.
Cart model.
Cart will be created. Cart entry will be created. Cart entry will be created. Okay, so you can see for cart entry you have what? Cart entry model.java. For cart, what do you have? Cart model.java. Okay, now Shruti, can you tell me cart entry logic? When you click on this, cart entry will be created. What is the code for it? What is the code for it, Shruti? Or Sudhakar? Let's go with the Sudhakar.
Sorry, Chenna.
What is the code will be executed when you click on add to cart? Just now I told you syntax, general syntax. So YYY model. What is the YYY here? Cart entry. So therefore cart entry model.
Cart entry model.
CEM equal to model service create of cart entry model dot class. Now in the cart entry, what do you have? Quantity, all those things, right? So therefore CEM dot set quantity. Let's say you are ordering 2 quantity. Okay, CEM dot set a base price. Base price will be there, right? For this.
Yes.
So let's say base price is 111. So finally perform the operation. So model service dot save of CEM. That's it. Now who will tell the cart logic? When you click on add to cart, cart will be created. Who will tell the cart logic?
Cart model object is equal to model service.
Oh, cart model. Thank you. Cart model CM equal to model service dot create of cart model
dot class.
Very good. Then cart will have what? Cart will have total cart ID and all, right? So cart will have, let's say, ID. ID I'm giving 1111. So cart will have total. So let's say cart total TOTAL. So let's say total is 100 something. Then finally
Model
model
service dot save.
Yeah, that's it here. Now
Set.
I want some. Okay, now let's say you are in the checkout page and you are placing the order. Now tell me what is the logic for place order, Raj? So place order, tell me, Raj.
Order model.
Excellent. Okay, order model OM equal to model service
Model
dot
create
of
order model.
order model dot class. Okay, order will have what? Order will have ID, right? So let's say OM dot set ID. So order ID is, let's say, this one. Order will have totals. OM dot set totals. So let's say total is 1000 something. You can just, okay, order can have description. Let's say order description. So ChennaReddyTraining. Okay, finally, what is that, Raj? Perform the deep
Models.
model
Order
service
model dot.
OM. Now you can see here. So in the e-commerce, what do you do here? So you insert, okay, you add the item to cart, okay, you create the, okay, you create the order, you, okay, you create the user, okay, you do the payment like this. Now you know how to perform this. If it is a payment here, so if it is a payment, so then payment info model, okay, you can see payment info model. Payment info model. Now can anyone tell me payment logic?
Model.
Payment info model, okay, object equal to model service dot create of payment info model dot class. Payment info model is having what? Payment ID that duplicate some attributes are there. Set the column data. After that, model service dot save of payment that object. Here, see how easy to write the code. Now in the e-commerce, what do you do here? You will add the item to cart. Okay, you will check out, you place the order, you create the user, you fetch the order and all. Now you know everything. Now I said if you understand this this 20 minutes, then you know most of the code, right? Let's see how many times model service dot create is used. Then you will see the power of this explanation. Okay, now we can go here. How many times model service dot create is used? Service dot create is used how many times? You can see 3447. Okay, so 3447. Then after that, model service dot save is there, right? Let's see how many times save is used.
These many times.
Sorry,
More number of times than this.
I don't know what you are telling, Sudhakar. Okay, model
I'm
service dot
saying
save.
like how many times we create, those many times we save.
3597.
Updates also.
97. So therefore, in between what will be there here? Tell me. In between what will be there?
Setting the data.
Description.
Getting the data, setting the data, getting the data here. See how easy now. That's why I said if you understand that logic, almost 1 lakh lines of code you understand. Do you agree?
Yes, Shan.
Yes. Now let's see some example.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will just go randomly. So let me go to the B2B commerce. I just open this. Okay, so this is the method. You can go to the this method implement. No, let me go to some other one. Let's say, let's go to our services. So you can see here, by looking at this, you can understand very easily. What are we trying to do here? So there is a district model. You can see here, please, district model, then setting the data, finally saving the district model. See how it is. So there is a city model, setting the data, finally saving the city model. That's it here. Okay, let me go to different place again. I'm just going randomly. So let's go and see what is this delta something. Okay, now you can see. So there is a test customer model something. So that is coming from different method. They are saving it. That is coming from, okay, now you can see model service dot test customer John. What is the test customer John? You can see they are trying to create from different object and setting the data, that the thread sleep time, all these things are nothing but setting data and finally performing the DB operation. Finally performing the DB operation. That's why I said if you understand this model service dot save, model service dot create, then almost 1 lakh lines of code you understand. And there is one more statement called model service dot remove, which will remove the record. Let's see how many times this is used. Okay, so model service dot remove. Sorry, I typed wrong here. Okay, so this is used almost 391 times. 391 times. Now you know that means that many times they are trying to remove the record from the database. It may be product record, it may be card record, it may be some other record. That's the power of the model files. That's the power of this explanation. I hope now everyone is comfortable how to create a cart, how to create a, or how to create a cart entry, how to create a order entry, how to create a customer, how to create a user, how to create a employee, and so on, so on. So how to create a payment, and so on, so on. So do you agree?
Yes, Chenna.
So that's the power of this example here. So I told you in the simplest way by comparing with the back office. I told you simplest way by comparing with the back office. So if you want to create a customer from back office, what you do? Then equivalent code. What you do? Then equivalent code. What you do? Then equivalent code. So this is the simplest way to understand. You are not learning anything new. You are just turning your back office skill set into the coding. That's all for today. Now, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask. Santosh, tell me.
Chenna, yeah, we learned here